Hello.
Hello. Are we? Oh, we're live now, are we? Can you hear us? Oh, people of the internet, if there are people.
Oh, yes. God's sake. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi.
All right,
Can
brilliant.
indeed.
Brilliant. All right. So I was just mentioning that you were the captains for Movember for Minute. So do you just want to tell me a little bit more about Movember before we start?
Yeah, I'll do that there. Movember was founded in Australia in 2003, I think, but I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me. But by a couple of men just that were wanting to raise awareness for men's health and grow mustaches as well. I believe they started talking about it because they were talking about fashion and how fashion things tend to come back around, but mustaches hadn't. And they wanted to kind of bring it back around, and that's how it started. And then, yeah, now we're here to the point that we are now.
Okay, so how did you get involved then? Like, what kind of spurred you on to try and get the Movember movement going in Maynooth?
Will I take that one? I suppose I run the Mental Health Society in Maynooth, and one of our big prospects for this year is trying to get men more than lads more engaged in the society and raise more awareness for men's mental health. Over the summer, the Movember campaign movement that's like run based in the UK and Ireland reached out to me, and they asked if we could get a team going of a few lads and gals who would be interested in running the campaign. So throughout the summer, we took on a few people, and David here got trained in as captain, and then a few of the other lads got trained in as well. And that's what kind of started us off here. And now we are working really hard to try and raise money and raise awareness for the men's mental health charities.
Excellent. Obviously, there's a massive, how would you say? There's a massive stigma around like men's mental health, certainly from my experiences, and I'm sure, David, you've had experiences as well. So, like, well, what are your thoughts on the stigma? Like, how do you think is the best way to combat it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I suppose the best way to combat it is just to kind of make enough noise about it, start getting the movement going, getting people educated, I suppose, that men, even though historically, if you look at how men reviewed for centuries, reviewed as men things that beings that shouldn't let the world get in on it, should just be able to keep going, stiff upper lip type thing. Whereas I suppose that's not the case. We're all human. We all feel things. We all kind of suppose have our struggles, have our battles, whatever. Yeah, and I suppose in my own case, I wanted to try and I know one man can't change the world, but he can certainly make a good stab at starting a movement. That's the reason I got involved, because Jesse put out a text looking for people to get involved, and I just happened to reply, say I was doing it anyway, because I have done Movember ever since I started to grow those first wispy facial hairs back in my early teenage years. And I was lucky enough to be named team captain, and yeah, we're doing an outstanding job so far. We're only 4 days into the month now, and we've already raised well over $3,000 for men's health charities. So that's a really, really good start.
Amazing, yeah. So, like, what? How have you been able to raise that money, or what events do you have planned in order to raise more?
Well, so far, people have been extremely generous and working really hard to raise, kind of set up their fundraising pages. So we've been given the option to people to set up a kind of a fundraising page where people can make donations themselves, have family and friends donate. And then also we've had society pages set up. A few societies have already spearheaded a few different events. The Mental Health Society are working on a 30-day kind of events campaign. And we have I think just over 25 collaborations with clubs and societies so far, and we're still getting messages even today for people who want to join. A lot of the society events and club events are charging maybe €2 or €3 donation, 100% to the Movember charity. We also have a few different things, like David, as you might have seen on our page, shaved off his beard for the shave down on Friday, so that the lads can grow their Movember mustache, which is obviously the symbol for that. Tomorrow we're going to be, or is tomorrow Friday? Sorry, on Friday we're going to be live streaming Gavin Fanning getting his beard shaved off to show that not only is it not too late to get involved with the movement, but it's also really important to kind of get involved and have a laugh, and we'll also be taking donations live for that. There's also the Move for Movember, which Maynooth are taking part in, which is the 60k for the 60 lives lost every hour to suicide. And you can take part in that virtually. So you can do that with your club, society, or on your own. And you can keep track of it yourself using apps such as like Nike Run or the Health app on the iPhone. And you do it over the period of the month, things like that. We have this week alone, tomorrow we have a dance workshop. That's from 6:30 till about 8:30. And that's showing how important it is to kind of try and keep physical, to try something new, keep the fitness levels going, and also how important it is to talk about your mental health. It's €3 to attend that, and you pay for that either on the dance doc or on our page. We have the Movember fundraising page. You pay for that and just write your name. We have the live streaming of the beard. Next week, we have a collaboration with Coolocked, where we'll be discussing kind of men's mental health, having like a little kind of a tea session about men's mental health in Irish at 2 p.m. That's on Tuesday the 10th. We also have a debate with Lytton Debate Society, which will cover the topic of mental health throughout lockdown. And that would be really, really exciting. That's between mental health and Lytton Debating. We have a self-defense class on Wednesday the 11th with the Karate Society or Karate Club, and that's at 7 p.m. On November 19th, we have the Big quiz, where over 15 clubs and societies so far have signed up to take part. It's €10 for a group of 5, and there's a few prizes, spot prizes on the night, and everything is virtual, by the way. And you could sign up for that by paying €10 for your team of 5, society, club name, team name, and that money goes straight to Movember. Then on the 23rd, we have a poetry reading with Lytton Debating Society about like men's mental health and stuff. On the 26th, which is a Thursday from 7 to 8, we have a discussion panel, and we have 2 special guest speakers who are going to be surprised for now, but we have 2 guest speakers who are going to be coming on the night. Yeah, to get people interested. And finally, to close off Movember, on the 30th, we have a movie night with Disney Stock, which we'll be watching Up, because, well, not many Disney movies discuss men's mental health, but I suppose this one kind of comes close. And then we'll be having, at 8 p.m, we'll have a candle lighting vigil where we will have a little chat about lives lost, about men's mental health, the importance of speaking up, and maybe just kind of saying goodbye to a few people. Oh, I forgot, on the 25th, we also have a collaboration with Film Sock, and we'll be watching Perks of Being a Wallflower. That's it. Not too bad so far.
So, and just in terms of, obviously, I couldn't get on the screen, but I'm presuming that they can get you on social media. What accounts do you have?
Yeah, so for Movember, we have Movember Maynooth on Instagram, and then the Mental Health Society pages on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and Discord. And we're constantly posting every day. We have amazing PROs who are posting all about our events, how to sign up, how you can donate. There's loads of different David has the link for the fundraising pages set up on his Facebook, on my Facebook, and again on the mental health social media pages and Movember Maynooth. Brilliant.
Well, certainly very organised anyway. And everyone who's watching, all 5 of you, please make sure to check out Movember and the Mental Health Society. They do great work, and I'm sure you'll raise a lot more money, and it's very impressive what you've done so far. So yeah, in terms of, I'm just looking through my questions here. Just in terms of like, obviously, if me and David are obviously men, I'm not sure whoever else is men who's watching, but just in terms of like, what are the supports that are available in order for like, if men are struggling, what like supports are there if they need them? If you could just talk about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. So just to counteract. I was just going to counteract. Is this like Maynooth particular, or is this kind of throughout Ireland?
Just throughout Ireland, yeah. Just throughout Ireland.
I suppose Jesse, you probably know more on this than me, but I suppose it's kind of the same supports really that will be there for women. I suppose kind of if you need to reach out to a counsellor, which I have done before, there's nothing wrong with it. It helps. So there's that. Obviously, your mates will be a big one. I'm probably forgetting a load here. If you want to jump in, Jesse, feel free. I suppose the same kind of routes to be available for both men and women. But I suppose Movember is the big one for men because it's also men's mental health month. So I suppose that in normal times anyway, not so much this year considering we're in the middle of lockdown too, electric boogaloo. But I suppose normally like you'd see people going around with a mustache and you might remember, oh yeah, that's happening this month, or it might spark a conversation for some people. Like I've seen before previously, people stopping people around asking questions about stuff like that during November because I suppose it's the month to do it. It's the big one kind of where most of the awareness gets spread.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, okay, and just
sorry, I couldn't unmute. I just suppose on that point as well, if any lads are looking for support, if anyone is looking for support, we have the link tree on all of our social medias, which gives kind of nearly all of the free services available throughout Ireland for, all particular genders and stuff. Nightline is also amazing. I don't know if that was mentioned, but they are fantastic as well for students, free services. So yeah, link tree on the MHS pages.
And just on a final point, have you noticed, especially during the pandemic, everyone's kind of talking about they're struggling with their mental health and everyone's staying inside and all that. Have you noticed that in your numbers in terms of people in your groups that are saying they're struggling, or what is your experience of that been?
I would see it a lot more amongst my friends, given that we're all used to we're all in college, we're all used to having friends around every day, almost at the push of a button, for want of a better phrase. But then when this started, we all came home. It was kind of a shock to the system. And then now that we're 8-9 months into it, I think especially now in the winter, it's really starting to hit people because they can't go out for runs, walks, whatever in the evening. And whereas previously they could. And then I myself play hockey. So I suppose in that sense, myself as well, we've kind of had to, we were a week away from the season starting with games when the level 5 came in and everything got shut down again. So I suppose in that sense, I've seen it a lot more, even amongst people in that group that are older than myself. It's all hit us big time because we've had that kind of outlet of training where you can get out for an hour and a half, a couple of nights a week, knock a ball about a pitch, kind of clear your head. We've had that taken away from us, as a lot of people have had their kind of outlets taken away this time. So I suppose this winter it's really hit people massively hard.
Yeah. Jesse, anything to add?
Sorry, struggling with the unmute. Interesting enough, the debate topic for next week, sorry, I need to get it up. It's actually this house would allow people who suffer from mental health issues to create a social bubble during lockdown, which I think is particularly interesting, and I'd like to go a little bit further. Yeah, I've definitely, like you're saying, David, I've definitely seen a huge impact on mental health to be honest, I've seen it for both sides, but in particular for lads as well. I think the main difference I've seen is that they're more willing to speak up a little bit about it to myself. Obviously, kind of as the president, I have received numerous texts from people who have been struggling over the last few months, and it's definitely increased. And kind of there's an element almost of people feeling kind of hopeless, or feeling there's not that there's no way out, but that they've never really been in this stump before, and they're really stuck and they're scared and they're not really sure where to go from here or what we can do. And I suppose in something as big as a pandemic or a lockdown, I mean, counselling and talking, of course, is extremely important, but they need something a little bit more as well. I work on the college and I've needed to see people and meet people, that kind of thing. But in particular for the lads, it's, it has been quite difficult for them, quite strenuous. And I'm happy enough that some of them have reached out, and I'm hoping that number will increase. We've found it kind of hard to try and get people engaged, kind of just turning that around a little bit, and as yourself, clubs and societies know, that's the biggest challenge that we've had, is how can we organise things if there's, we can't meet in person. Fortunately enough, we have about 144 members so far, and nearly a majority of them are engaged with us, if not in a group chat, in the events, if not in the events, in a pen pal. And I would really urge the lads to do that, and the girls to do that, everyone to do that, just to at least meet one person, chat to one person, and just have that hope that you're going to see someone again. Because it's the uncertainty at the end of the day that we don't know what we can do. 5K, sure, you'd be running further than that, meeting other people than that. What do we do? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, fair point. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else major because you pretty much said everything. So yeah, I'm just gonna probably leave it here. So just make sure everyone to check Movember, and it's a very important cause, and I'm sure they'll accept any donations because it'll be very much appreciated. And yeah, don't forget to check them out on social media. I think it's Movember Minute, if I'm right in saying, and that should be on pretty much every single social media that you can think of. And yeah, thank you everyone for listening, and yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much, lads.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.